3. Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear friends and colleagues of the 5 continents. Today we have a very, very, very special guest speaker. She comes down from Mexico. Hello, dear Cristina Mauricio.
Hello, dear Professor Jaime. It's an honor to be here today.
The honor is mine, dear Cristina. Just call me Jaime, please.
Okay.
Yeah, we are friends and colleagues. Okay, and hello everyone in Facebook Live and here in the Zoom meeting. Let me show you my screen. Wait, please. Give me a minute. Okay. It's taking some time to open as usual. Anthony Michael is coming. Anthony Michael is from Nigeria. He's a good friend of ours. Okay, so today is August the 26th, and this is our 105th International English Online Meeting. Okay, if anybody wants to contact me in the world, this is my WhatsApp number. And if you haven't seen any of the videos yet, you can find them in Jaime and Kahima Teacher Trainer YouTube channel. Okay, who are our next speakers? Cristina, Raj, Luis, Monique. On September the 10th, we'll have Fernanda Binati from Brazil. On September the 24th, Abu Kasum from Ivory Coast. On October the 8th, Mark Dorr from the USA. On October the 22nd, Hasna Mansour, Morocco. From Morocco, she'll be talking about ChatGPT in education. I hope I can be able because I'll be in Mexico by this time and this day. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Well, then Randall Davis from the USA, he will be talking to us on November the 12th. Damaris Habj from Cameroon, she will be presenting on November the 26th. Marco Saavedra from Peru, from Cajamarca, Peru, he will be presenting on December the 10th. And today, who is our guest speaker today? Well, as I said before, Cristina Mauricio from Mexico. A few words about Cristina. Cristina Mauricio is an award-winning pronunciation and public speaking specialist with over 20 years of experience in language teaching. She is an EFL and ESL teacher, oratory coach, writer's co-author, researcher, international speaker, philanthropist, and EduTuber. As a creative educator, she uses her expertise in accelerated learning, neuroeducation, and humanistic principles to inspire and train her students to achieve their language goals. She is the founder and director of the International Language Academy, Fíjate Bien, pay attention to it, and the developer of specialized ESL and EFL courses and editorial projects. She is dedicated to helping learners achieve their language goals by creating unforgettable learning experience. And the most important, she's a great human being. Thank you, dear Cristina, for giving us part of your Sunday morning. And because of your knowledge and expertise, you are going to share with us this morning. The screen is all yours, dear Cristina.
Thank you so much for such a warm introduction. Really, I feel honored for that. Let me read one quote. Well, I'm going to ask you if you can tell me what this quote means. Maybe you can put it in the chat. I understood that we can interact each other, so it's going to be a great talk. What does this quote says, guys?
I can read the first one.
Okay.
If knowledge is power, learning is, come on, guys, help me.
Superpower.
Yeah.
Superpower.
Hey, we did it.
Yes, we got it. If knowledge is power, learning is your superpower.
Yes.
This quote Jim Quick says it over and over and over again, because he believes that if we learn how to learn, that is going to become our superpower. Nowadays, we are surrounded by all the artificial intelligence, says all the things that we are seeing. But what about if we really start developing that superpower of learning? And if we can help our students to develop that superpower, do not worry. This is not from the moon, like a code or a secret code. This is something that we have seen all the times in our dictionaries. Here we have the phonemic transcription taken from the International Phonetic Alphabet. I'm going to explain a little bit about that. So let's continue. You can see the screen, right? My slides. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a confession to make. Really, this was me. 24 years ago, I started the university. I was so young and I had a lot of dreams. I was a single mom. I had a daughter. She was just a baby. No, there were like 25 or 26 years ago. My daughter was a baby. So I needed to study in order to work and in order to support my daughter. And I was very good at English, but my pronunciation was terrible, terrible, terrible. I couldn't open my mouth. I remember when I was at the university, I was looking at my colleagues, at my classmates, not colleagues, my classmates, and I used to listen to them speaking so well, and I felt like this. I remember that I used to go to the back of the classroom so the teachers won't call my name and I wouldn't have to speak. And I suffered a lot. I quit so many times the school, the university. I quit 3 times. It took me, guys, 14 years to finish my BA. I'm not proud of that, but I worked a lot. I did a teacher's training, my TKT, but finishing my VA was very, very, very painful. I prefer to do it online than be face-to-face because I thought that people were going to be laughing at my pronunciation. I even spent 20 years of my teaching because I've been a professional teacher for more than 25 years. 20 years of my teaching, I used to be working only with secondary students and adults, but level 1, because I was so scared. I thought that they were going to find out that I didn't speak well. And I discovered that it wasn't only me. I discovered that pronunciation is one of the most difficult things, even though it is a soft skill. You agree with me that when you are with your students, they are so scared about it. And why is it so difficult? Here we have some reasons. The sounds are difficult. Another one is that you don't understand them. And honestly, try to remember when you were studying English, how many times did you have pronunciation activities that were easy, clear, that you liked them, that you enjoyed them, right? I think not so many. When you speak, you are embarrassed, you feel vulnerable. That's what happened to me. Teachers don't train in a constant way, right? I've been observing all my years of teaching, and in some books, they have some activities, right? But so many times we as language teachers, we have our students 1 level, 1 month, maybe maximum 1 year in a school year, right? But there is not like a formal training of the pronunciation. Another one is that you do not know how to move your mouth. You don't have that awareness of your articulators, of your tongue, of your jaws, right? Of the sonority of the sounds. Maybe you do not like it. And one that it's very common that you are scared. Well, that's what happened to me. I was so scared of speaking. I have a question. What are the benefits of teaching pronunciation? And we find so many. Here I have some of the ones that I found. You can speak fluently. You can have, how do you pronounce this? Intelligibility. That is the ability to be understood. That is so, so, so important. You can improve the social skills. Your learning will be easier. You're going to stop having to repeat yourself. When I started having the conferences, I've been giving more than 150 conferences in many parts of the world, and I've been listening to so many accents. And it is very difficult when you do not understand, or people do not understand you, and you need to repeat and repeat and repeat, or you need to be asking what the other person is saying. You are going to feel confident, you are going to communicate effectively, and you are going to open up career improvement opportunities. That important communication is. I was reading the other day, and it shocked me that millions of dollars are lost every year due to communication problems, because English is nowadays one of the languages that is used for business and for the economy. And this is why many people are losing jobs, opportunities. Here in my country, well, in my state, in Jalisco, there was an agreement with the government of the USA, and they were helping my region for English, because they discovered that Jalisco, it's a great state because there is a lot of technology and a lot of opportunities. But the problem was when the students were ready, where the people were ready, the personnel were ready, they did not have the language. So now, every single Saturdays, kids from junior high and high school, they have free English classes. It started like 3 months ago, and it has been a success. It's great. So it is important that we provide those opportunities for speaking. Now, let me tell you one story. Maybe you are going to think, Christy, really? Is this story real? I don't know. You are going to decide if it is real or if it is not. But it's going to help you to understand the sounds in a different way. How many times have you been scared because you see those symbols and you do not understand? Or if you understand, you do not know how to teach them to your students, or your students do not even know what do they mean, right? And how to do it in a systematical way. But let me tell you a story. This is the canyon that I was talking about before. The name of this canyon is Barranca de Huentitan. And you can repeat with me, Barranca de Huentitan. Here, it is like, I don't want to lie, but I think it is like 2 kilometers down. Yes, there are 2 kilometers that you need to go down, and then you need to go up. So people are going there every single day to do exercise and to be in the nature. But there are so many stories and so many legends. They even say that they have seen UFOs and witches and magical beings there. So people disappear in mysterious circumstances. I'm not joking. This is true. But the story that I'm going to tell you has to do with the sounds. Here, the characters are the following. It's an 8-year-old boy. His name is Leito, and he goes there with his grandmother. Her name is Cristina, but he calls her Nena. It's his Nena, and he loves his Nena. So they go there, they go down, and they explore that whimsical place. But one day, when they were doing exercise and they were talking, something incredible happened. His Nena was distracted, and Leito was in front of this rock. Suddenly, the rock opened, and it was a cave. And Leito was a very curious boy. So he entered into that cave and saw a beautiful girl called Mina. The moment Leito saw Mina, Mina said, it is time. Leo was kind of puzzled. It is time for what? It is time. I was waiting for you. You have a mission to accomplish. And Leito was very puzzled. Here there is a treasure. The world needs this treasure. But you need to find it in order to give it to some persons that are very important to me. And Leito was very puzzled, like, what are you talking about? Who are you? And she said, well, my human name is Mina. I am, but that is not my real name. My real name is I am the guardian of the time, and I need to give you this treasure. There are the sounds of English. Nowadays, people are killing each other. They are fighting. Why? Because many years ago, many thousands of years ago, people used to speak one language, but there was a problem and people started speaking different language and the communication was broken. Nowadays, English can help people to speak one language and to start getting to know each other. And if they start getting to know each other, guess what? They are not going to kill each other. They are not going to fight. And there is going to be peace in this earth. And Leito was so amazed and he was so excited about this, but at the same time, he was kind of puzzled and he was kind of skeptical. And he honestly was not believing what he was saying. And Mina said, listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. Your Nena is not a typical grandmother. Your Nena is a queen. She is the queen of the dreamers, and she has a very important mission. She needs to give that treasure to all the people in the world so they can know them and they can communicate. Because I told you the problems that we have. And Nena has a student. Her name is Diana. And she is a magical queen too. She is the queen of the families. And I'm going to give you, I'm going to tell you another secret. She is my mother, Mina said. My mother, Diana, she has a mission too. She needs to give a message to the families about love, about unity, about freedom, about strength, about purity, about purpose. It is time, Leo. It is time that the sounds are shown to the nations, and you are going to accomplish that mission. Leito was kind of puzzled, and he was, I really do not understand. And Mina said, Leito, sit down. I'm going to explain. Listen, I told you that there was a problem because all humans are speaking different sounds, right? But many years ago, there was another magical person. His name was Posey. And in 1886, he designed an international phonetic alphabet. He was trying to put all those sounds in one chest or in one, how can I say, like in one treasure. And he did it very well. So people started understanding the sounds and they wanted to communicate better. If you can see, the sounds look kind of difficult. And then there was another Sir Adrian Underhill. And he took those sounds of the International Phonetic Alphabet and put them in this way. But guess what? People need to know these sounds. And you are going to help your Nena because your Nena doesn't know how to do it. She has done this for so many years. But now you are going to tell her and you are going to help her to do it. So Mina was telling Leito about this magical Sir Adrian Underhill, that he organized the sounds in 3 different ways. Well, 4. He was put it in vowels. Another sounds were diphthongs and consonants. But she said, the consonants, they are separate. Some of the consonants, you are going to feel most of the consonants, you are going to feel most of the consonants, you are going to feel most of the consonants. I think there is a microphone open. And other consonants are silent. And you are going to discover, because you need to have all those sounds and give it to your Nina. Are you ready? This place, the Barranca de Huentitan, Leito, Mina was saying, it's a magical place. And here there is an Atlant, the Atlant of the communication. Imagine that here we have a giant, and this mountain that we can see is not other but a tongue. So you need to go there and you need to find the sounds. And I'm going to be telling you more about this later. I want to show you something that Mina said to Leito. What do you need to pronounce the word? Leito was sitting there and he didn't know anything about the sounds. And when he was looking at all those symbols, he was kind of lost. But she said, look, Leito, it's very easy. When you pronounce, imagine that your mouth is not other but a door. So you need to open or you need to close that mouth in order to pronounce the sounds, right? It's not the same if you say something like ah or or l. So imagine that your mouth is that door and it's opening or is closing. Another thing is the position of your tongue. Yes, the tongue is the main character in this story. How do you pronounce tongue? Beautiful, right? Tongue, with your tongue in the back. So it is not the same if you have your tongue up in the middle, down on the center, in the back. You can try with me. If it is not the same if you say E or if you say oo, your tongue goes back. It's not the same if you say E, E, A. So when Leito was listening to Mina, he was practicing and he was imagining those sounds and he was paying attention to those things. And the third, and it is also very important, there is something later with the sounds because some sounds have vibration and some sounds do not have vibration. For example, it is not the same if you pronounce something like z, you can feel it, put your hand here, or if you say s, you cannot feel anything. So if we make a summary of this, to pronounce the sounds, you need to know if you are opening or close, if you are closing your mouth, if you are you are putting your tongue in a different position, right? You need to be aware of that. And another thing, it is going to be if the voicing, if we have vibration or if we do not have vibration. And later was, okay, I understood. My Nina, she is the queen of the dreamers and she needs to bring those sounds to the nations as well as your mom, okay? Yes, you are right. But how or where? How am I going to get those sounds? Where are they? And she said, they are here in the Barranca. I told you, the Barranca is a magical place and here is hidden one Atlant of the communication. And in his tongue, you are going to go and you are going to find those sounds. But I'm going to stop the story right here about Leito, Mina, the queen of the dreamers and the queen of the families. And I'm going to explain you a little bit about this method that I call the 6-phase method to train the sounds of English.
Could we say something, dear Cristina?
Sure.
before you go on, maybe somebody wants to make a comment or a question. I want to make a comment. You were talking about students being afraid or nervous or embarrassed when speaking. And I would add that also we teachers are embarrassed. I give conferences not only in Peru, but also outside the country. And when I do not know how to pronounce a word, or because I'm nervous, and there are some native speakers, I usually ask them, excuse me, how do you pronounce this word? Because I don't know, and I don't remember. And I have to confess, I guess that many teachers are also afraid of making mistakes in pronunciation, and that's why they don't participate in debates or a conversation. I don't know if the other people agree with me or have something else to say. Anybody else in the
I
audience?
can agree with you more.
Thank you very much, Cristina. Anybody else who wants to make a comment before Cristina goes on?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah,
Hello,
go ahead.
Patricia Rodriguez in Argentina, in Peru.
Yes, in Argentina.
Hello, Patricia.
Yes, I am an English teacher. It happened, everybody, students will feel so nervous to talk in front of the other teachers. So what the teachers Cristina is explaining is very good for us.
Yeah.
And I agree with you.
Thank you, Patricia.
It makes
You
sense.
sound very young. Are you a young teacher, a young student?
I am students.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. Thank you very, very much. Somebody else wanted to say something else? Medalit, I guess, in Switzerland? It was Medalit?
Well, I was going to say something. I think, yeah,
Okay, Raj.
well, sometimes there's discomfort in accent and pronunciation, all those things. I've experienced that myself when I'm in certain countries, how my accent may not be understood, or I might not understand the accent that they are speaking. So it does make a difference.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, dear Raj and Patricia. Anyone else? Okay, no one else. Go on. Luis Bermudez, please.
Yes, I totally agree. There is this anxiety that we all feel. It's not only about English, it's about in general to feel the spotlight. And some of us are very shy people, but we have to understand that it's a natural thing. And if we can overcome that, then we are going to be, taking a great step into learning English and to using our English in a confident manner. I think it's just about that. It's about this little fear, about taking risks, but we have to take risks in order to evolve into becoming better people in general.
Thank you, Luis. Okay, dear Cristina, back to you.
Thank you for your comments, and what you are saying is just right? It's a secret that we do not want to confess, or we do not want to expose ourselves. We don't want to say. We are afraid of our pronunciation. I told you, I've been a teacher for more than 25 years, and for 20 years, I was silent. Even though I was teaching, I was so scared. I didn't want it to speak. I started working with pronunciation, and I've been working with my student. Her name is Diana Martinez. She is a great professional. She's a project manager. And when I started teaching English to her, and I started explaining about this method, immediately I wanted to invite her, because we have been growing together and we have been thinking, how can we teach these sounds to our students? Because we have the International Phonetic Alphabet, right? We know that we do not need all those sounds, because those sounds are for the 7,000 languages that are approximately in the world. We need the 40 sounds of American English, or the 44 sounds of British English, those symbols, to show them to our students. It's a code, right? As I was telling you, many times I've been working with books and they have one sound per unit, right? If many teachers are teaching that book, maybe one teacher teaches, maybe the other teacher doesn't follow that teaching of the pronunciation. So there is not a systematical way in which students are exposed to those sounds. Remember, knowing the phonemic transcription will help students to really know how the words are pronounced. Students complain, English is so difficult because we see it in a way, but we listen to it in another way, and we need to pronounce it in a different way. But there is a way to know exactly how to pronounce with the phonetic, with the international phonetic alphabet, with the phonemic transcriptions, right? And the phonemic transcriptions are in every dictionary. I don't know if you remember when you were using dictionaries, because now everything is digital, and even in the digital dictionaries, you have the word, and then you have those strange symbols, which are the phonemic transcription. If we train our students to read, to understand those sounds, they will know perfectly how to pronounce, but there is the challenge, right? How are we going to train? And I'm going to go back to Bloom. Bloom, in his taxonomy, I love the way he is describing the process of the learning. First, we need to memorize. And this is something that we don't want to talk about because of the different approaches that we are exploring, but memorization is essential. It's like when you install the program in the computer, then you need to understand. If you put the program, but you do not understand, and then you skip to the last step, or to the last phase, which is evaluate, students are going to get lost. Students are going to get afraid. Students do not want to know about those symbols, even teachers, right? I've been asking in all my conferences, how many times do you use these sounds? And a few teachers use them. They don't like them, or they think that it is not necessary, and they prefer to go straight to functions or to grammar or to vocabulary. But imagine, you are teaching a language, you are teaching sounds, and there are so many sounds depending on your country and your language that students do not know. What about if you start not in a separate way, but during your classes in a systematical way, to train those sounds? So first, they are going to memorize. Second, they are going to understand. By understanding, I mean that they need to know if they are opening, they are closing their mouths, they have that awareness of the articulators, they are practicing like if they were in a gym. Diana always tells me, Christy, we need to think in a gym, like going to the gym, and you know, if you are going to do biceps or triceps or things like that, when you are pronouncing those sounds, if you have that awareness, it's going to be easier for the students. After that, you are ready to use those sounds. And when you use them, then you are going to analyze them. I love Bloom. Then you are going to be able to evaluate them. And finally, you are going to be using that new information. So basically, that is the method. And I'm going to be sharing with you some of the activities of that method. And I want you to be working with me. So I am paying attention to what Jaime told me to be interactive, and we are going to start working with that. Ready? So if I ask you guys about these sounds, you can open your microphones and you can tell me, what is this sound, guys?
Now we are afraid.
Don't worry. Okay, what about this?
The second one.
Yes, and this one?
Now I am afraid.
Anyone?
You.
Ooh, this one?
You.
Ooh. Remember, these are not letters, these are sounds, these are phonemes, and it is very important that when you see them in slashes, you put them. Adrian Underhill is a genie. Look, he put vowels, diphthongs, and consonants, and he put them in a way that if you can see your mouth in a profile way, it is going to be very easy to articulate. For example, I want you to try with me this. Say, EU.
Ew.
By saying that, you are saying all these sounds. So here here we are opening E, and we close E. Then we make like if you are pushing your belly like ooh, like very short ooh, you do not round your lips. Then it's going to be a long ooh. Do it with me. Ooh. Here we have E. Repeat with me.
E.
The beautiful schwa, the schwa.
Oh.
It is a mystery, right? But it's one of the most important sounds in English. Look, you do not open your mouth. The tongue, leave it where it is, and you're just going to release the air. Do it with me. When I am training my students, I tell them, you know why? The more you close your mouth, the better you are going to speak English. And we play like, because if you are closing your mouth, your tongue is going to be here in the center. This one is a combination between the schwa and the R. So it's going to be, and here we have a beautiful O, but it's a big O. Like when an American person says, hola, like
Hola.
Look, we have 3 A's. We have A. Imagine that you are biting an apple. A. Then we close. Okay. And now I want you to put your tongue in the back and say very relaxed, like an apapacho, like a hug, like you're feeling relaxed. So listen, guys. In my country, we speak Spanish. We have 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, U. In English, we have 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, U. But in my language, Spanish, I have 5 sounds. In English, we have 5 vowels and we have 11 sounds. That's why students find so difficult to learn English.
And also teachers, dear Cristina.
Yes, and also teachers. But this is the most beautiful thing, guys. If we as teachers, we are confident about the sounds and we have them, we are going to be able to express to our students the importance and the magic of those sounds. For example, if you are talking about something and you use a different sound, you are going to say a different message, right? That important it is. And it is not about being correct or being incorrect. It's about being understood and being confident. If you know the vowels, that I am not pretending, if you are not familiar with these sounds, that you know them, remember the process that I told you. This is only just an introduction. You are starting to memorize. So it is important that you show them these symbols. They need to get familiar with these symbols. Then we're going to have the diphthongs, and they are so easy. We have A. Repeat with me.
Say that again. Say that again.
A.
Oi.
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 O.
O.
I.
I.
And out.
Ow.
Then let's go to the consonants. Why did I put these consonants in black background? Because I am sure, no matter the language that you speak, that you know how to pronounce these sounds. Remember, these are called phonemes, not letters. Do not pronounce them with vowels. Remember that I told you about the vibration or the lack of vibration. This guy is a genie. He put the consonants in pairs. So for example, I want you to put your hand here, and I want you to pronounce the first consonant. P. I want to hear P. Excellent. Now the second one, B.
B.
B. You see that it is the same position of the mouth. They are like twins, but the difference is the vibration. Look, P, B, P, B, P, B. Then we have the next pair. We have t, d. We know those sounds. Then we have k, g. Then we have f. Do it with me. F. Mm, So what I have told you so far, we have more than 5 vowels, right? And we need to know those sounds, those differences. We have diphthongs and we have consonants, and the consonants, some of the consonants have vibration and some of the consonants do not have vibration. And I'm going to show you something amazing. These are the sounds that are difficult, and I put it like in quotation because they are not, that our students need to know. And if they get familiar with those sounds, they are going to love the language and they are going to feel so confident. And I'm going to explain them in a minute. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Excellent, very good. So basically, the 6-phase method to train the sounds of English, a framework for pronunciation training based on Bloom's taxonomy. We are basing on Bloom's. So I was telling you, first, you need to memorize, understand, and I related that with our brains. Then we need to apply and analyze, and I related to the heart because it is important that we involve emotions there. And finally, evaluate and create. And I put the hands because my methodology that I've been applying is that we are learning and we are teaching with our brain, with our hearts, and with our minds. Because most of the times when I was learning, teachers used to teach me with the brain, right? Or with the mind. And I didn't have the opportunity to experience or to feel that learning or to use it because I was not confident. But when I intend to do this with my students, with my teaching, to be always involving these three elements, magical things happen. And you can ask your students, you can observe your students, what do they love? And if you can teach them with the things that they love, they are just going to love what you are teaching, and they are going to be learning faster, and they are going to be able to use and to create with that new knowledge. So for example, I brought an activity here. You are going to be recalling information because it's going to be memorization. And we are going to be working with these sounds. Let me show them. Okay. The ones that I told you that are difficult. I am not going to explain what the sounds are. I am just going to show you a memory game. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to put them in pairs. I want you to look at the pictures and I want you to tell me, okay, teacher, number 1 is with number. What is the pair of number 1? You need to find the identical pair. And write it in the chat, please.
Watch.
Number 1, do not worry about the sound. Only look at the image, look at the symbol, and you need to find the same. 1 with 10. Come on, quickly. Let's see who does first. All of them. Excellent. All of them. Come on. Put them all together.
Is there a present, a prize?
The prize is that you are going to memorize the sounds. No, okay. I am going to give you a prize to all of you. At the end of this training, I'm going to give you a link to a classroom that I have on pronunciation. And there are a lot of resources, videos, and materials that you can use with your students. That is going to be the prize for your participation, dear Jaime.
I'm behaving as if I were a student.
Yes, that's okay. And I love it. So, Jaimito, please behave, all right?
Sorry, miss. Sorry,
no, that's miss. Okay. That's okay. 30 seconds. Come on. Hurry up. Faster. Do not worry if you do not know the symbol. Do not worry about it. Only just try to memorize it. Okay? Try to match them. Time's up. You are going to tell me. You can open your microphones. Number 1 is with number? Teacher Jaime,
24.
can you tell me? Number one is with number?
It goes with 24.
10.
10,
Okay,
10.
repeat with me.
I'm 20.
And it's going to be as watch. Number two, it goes with number?
11.
Okay. Say with me, fish.
Fish.
And the sound is going to be sh. Beautiful. Number three goes with number?
24.
24. So what do we see there? We see there a
Juice.
juice. Okay, beautiful.
Juice.
I want you to make this sound. Now I want you to make another sound. I want you to make the sound of the d. Everybody say d, 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 d. Now the other one. And put it together. J, 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 j. And say with me, juice.
Juice.
Beautiful. Next, please, I want you to tell me number 4. What is it?
13.
4 and 17. 13. Very good.
13.
And we have a zebra. Okay, that sound. Put your mouth, you put your hand here, and I want you to vibrate. Zebra. Very good. Number 5.
20.
Okay, and we have the number?
20.
The number 7. Repeat with me. 7. And I want you to place your lips, your teeth on your lips. And I want you to say, it's different. You are going to feel like some tickles there. Number 6, what do we have?
16.
Okay. I want you to say with me, feel the vibration. How do you pronounce this word?
Treasure.
Vibrate, treasure. Because most of the time we say treasure, right? With no vibration. But I want you to put the vibration. Treasure. Beautiful. Number 7 goes with number?
21.
Okay. And what do we have there? We have a?
Crown. King.
King. All right. And I want you to put your tongue in the back. Do not say king or king. The tongue in the back. King. King. Beautiful. Number 8 goes with number?
19.
19. We have a?
House.
House. So the sound is going to be no vibration, right? Beautiful. Number 9, what do we have? Goes with number?
22.
22. And we have a mother. The tongue goes out. Mother. Mother. Very good. And then number 12, we have it with number?
17.
Okay. And we have the number?
3.
Okay. Many people say 3 or 3. All right. I want you to do something, guys. I want you to put your hand here, and I want you to blow. Say with me. Blow, blow, blow. Feel the air on your mouth. Ready? Now the tongue, I want you to put it out, and I want you to blow with your tongue out. 3. And now say with me, 3.
3.
3.
3.
If you feel vibration here, the sound is not correct. You do not need to feel the vibration. 3. Even though you have a tissue paper and you can blow. And if you blow, if the paper moves when you are saying the sound, it is correct. If not, you need to keep trying. Remember that this is a training, but right now we are memorizing only. So we have 3. Number 14, it is with?
17.
17. And we have the word yes, not yes. Yes. Say with me. Yes. Yes. Beautiful.
Yes.
Number 18, it's going to be with number
23.
23, and it's the word
Window.
window. Repeat with me,
Window.
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 Beautiful. There was a problem here with these sounds, but we already saw them, right? So you get it. You have some of the most difficult sounds. Imagine that if you are playing this game with your students, but not once, guys. You need to be playing with them minimum 1 week that they are playing and they are manipulating, and they are going to be ready to be understanding the sounds. I was explaining some of the sounds, right? Because you do not need to wait, but the more familiar, the more exposures they get with the symbols, they get with the sounds, the better it's going to be for them, and they are going to be interested. You can be playing many ways. If you invite me another time, I can be teaching you other ways to be playing a memory game, because there are different levels. This is level 1, and the students just love them. We can even use music for that. Repeat with me, guys. I want to listen to you. Watch.
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 Before. Ju.
Ju.
Juice.
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 Mm.
V.
7.
Seven.
Remember?
3.
3.
3.
For example, mouth. Do
Mouth.
not say to a girl, you have a beautiful mouse instead of mouth. All right, be careful, because
Well, it can happen that the
no,
person
it
has a beautiful
happens.
mouse.
It happens.
No, I
Yes.
mean that they have a beautiful mouse at home.
Yes, as a pet, right? But maybe the girl is going to slap you and say like, hey, what are you doing? What are you saying? This one, if you say mother without taking your tongue out, people will understand you, of course, but it is better if you start training yourself every time we have that sound with words like the, they, those, this, then, right? This to be taking the tip of your tongue out. Repeat with me, mother.
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 Beautiful. Then we have this one, zzz,
Donkey.
Z.
zebra. Zebra, the beautiful vibration. I love that sound. This one,
Fish.
fish. Beautiful. Next,
Treasure.
treasure. Feel the vibration, treasure.
Treasure.
Beautiful. This one,
Mm.
not the N, not the N sound with the tongue here on your teeth. It's going to be back.
King.
King. Beautiful. Next. Come on. House.
House.
Next is going to be oo. Ooh.
Window.
Ua. Window. Beautiful, guys. And the last one, yeah.
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 Yes. Our students use the other sound and they get confused. They say yes, yellow, YouTube, right? You, and it is yes, yellow, YouTube, you. So those distinctions are so important. So remember, here we have the vowels, the diphthongs, and we have the consonants. Why do you think I have different colors in the consonants? Some of them are red and some of them are green.
Mm.
Is the way how you use your tongue in that one?
The vibration. For example, ch. I want you to pronounce with me. Ch, 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 ch. No vibration. I want you to pronounce with me. J, 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 j. Vibration. For example, if you say shh,
September.
no vibration. If you say then we have vibration. I didn't color all of them because the first two columns, they are in pairs, remember, according to the Adrian Underhill's phonemic chart. That is the name of this. There is a friend that I have in Angola. He has his own phonemic chart. And he says that geography teachers, they have a map right, on their classroom. The chemistry teachers, they have the periodic table on their classrooms, like a poster. That English teachers, we should have a phonemic chart where students can see the sounds because we need them every day. So this should be something as teaching them how to add, how to rest, how to multiply, how to, it's an alphabet, right? So if they know this alphabet, it's going to be easier for them to know the sounds. The phase 2, we are going to go to understand. This is going to be very simple, what I'm going to explain. Basically, you are going to explain to your students the 3 characteristics that I told you. For example, the sound Z. I need to explain my students if I am opening or if I am closing my mouth, right? For example, this sound Z, it's semi-open. Then the position of the tongue. Z, feel where your tongue is. And there are very complex names according to the linguist, but I am not going to get into that because with your students, they are going to get scared. Just explain them this and they will understand, right? So here, the tongue is going to be almost in the center of your mouth. And finally, it is a sound that has vibration, right? So it's going to be, and then invite them to pronounce them. I play music and I do this exercise with music with pairs. For example, the counterpart of this sound is going to be, so they take a deep breath and they release the air with music. They are listening to music. This is like a warm-up and they are releasing the sound, the air with the sound. For example, they take some air and they say, shh. And they take some air and they say, so it is great because they are getting familiar with those and they are having that awareness that I told you that it is so important. Number 3, apply, use the information. Now you are going to practice and you all are going to help me, guys.
20.
I want to listen to you. How do you pronounce this word?
Clothes.
Clothes.
Okay. How would your students, A1 students or A2 would pronounce this word?
Clothes.
Or clothes, right?
Or clothes, yeah.
If you show them the phonemic transcription, they were familiar, they understood the sounds, now they are ready to read them. How do we pronounce this word? I want
Clothes.
to close, feel the vibration and pay attention to something, guys. This is something, what I'm going to tell you guys, this is something that stopped my learning for so many years because I remember that 25 years ago, we didn't have internet, we didn't have digital dictionaries, we didn't have a lot of information. So when my pronunciation teacher in the university used to tell me to investigate the phonemic transcriptions, I found out many variations. And I thought that I was wrong, that the problem was me. I didn't know that there are so many variations and you're going to see different nuances of the symbols and it is okay. And there are different accents, right? But I was so worried about being right that I stopped my learning. So do that with your students. Tell them you are going to see different variation and it is okay. People pronounce in a different way and it is okay. But this is like an standard way that you are going to find these symbols, these sounds, and it's going to give you a lot of confidence. So if you say close, it is perfect. What about this one, guys?
Colleague.
Imagine you are your students. How would you pronounce?
Colleague.
Look at the phonemic transcription. How are you going to pronounce?
Colleague.
Okay, and here I need to explain you something very important. Can you see this apostrophe? Yes?
Yes.
This is the stress. In English, we don't have acentos as in Spanish, that we put like a symbol to show that that is the syllable that is going to have more emphasis or more energy. In English, we have a stress, right? So this word is going to pronounce colleague. Repeat with me, colleague.
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 And you play with your students with the stress and they just love it because it's going to give them a lot of confidence to pronounce the sounds. What about this one? Repeat one more time. Colleague.
Colleague.
Very good. What about this word? How do you pronounce? Well, you are students, remember.
Island.
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 Now,
Island.
I want you to read. How would you pronounce?
Island.
Island.
Beautiful. And there we have the schwa. So island.
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 Something important. Sorry, Cristina. What about if the professor, if the teacher says or thinks it is Iceland, and there are 40 students in class, and he has 4 different classrooms, so that'll be a mistake for 360 students.
Yes, imagine. But the problem, I wouldn't blame the teacher. I would say that the problem would be the communication, because, for example, Iceland is a country. What about if those 348 students are communicating, one of them is communicating and is having a problem of communication? So we have a responsibility, right? And
That's
there
what
is a way. There is a way.
That's what I wanted to highlight, the responsibility that we as teachers have to be always studying and listening and reading and attending these conferences.
And learning, right?
Yes.
And for example, when I discovered this code, I was in the university, it was like, a new world. I love my pronunciation teachers. I really love them. Michelle Merritt, Carol Lethaby, they were just great. But you know what? I am responsible for that. I thought that it was so complicated. So during 20 years, I paid the price. And I was teaching, I love teaching kids and I love teaching teenagers and I love teaching level 1, but I was missing so many opportunities. For example, being here today in front of so many teachers that are so important from so many different parts of the world, to be able to open my mouth and communicate the things that I love. That is the beauty of the language. That is the beauty of communication. And yes, we have a responsibility and it is easy. We have so many resources. Right? There are so many ways we can approach these phonemic charts, so we can approach to these symbols. There is artificial intelligence. I use it a lot, and it is so practical. So what you are saying, Jaime, it's so essential to be responsible, because our students are going to go outside and they need to communicate for things that are important.
Yes, from now on, I promise I will put the phonemic chart in every single class. I promise.
That's amazing. And look, guys, the link that I'm going to share with you in Classroom, you can share with your students too, right? I'm going to show it in a minute and you're going to love it. How do we pronounce this, guys?
Mountain.
Okay.
Mountain.
And what about this one? Mountain or mountain. I have seen both. This one, guys, you are students.
Environment.
You know the phonemic transcriptions. Environment. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What about this one?
Money.
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 What about this one, guys?
Money.
Money. These guys.
Cousin.
Cousin.
You are experts. Cousin. Remember the variation, right? This one.
Daughter.
Daughter.
Okay. Different accents.
Daughter.
And depending on your context, you can be teaching the phonemic chart of British English or American English. It's okay. This one, guys.
Business.
And here, the vibration, business. I have seen the transcription with 2 short I's, business, right? And Mexico, we say the business. No. And the last one, how do we pronounce this?
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation. Na. Repeat with me. Na.
Na na na
Repeat.
na na.
Na, na. There is a magical way of doing that. Na 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 pronunciation. All right, so let's go to the number 4. We're going to analyze.
Just a reminder, dear Cristina, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
We still got 24 minutes, all right?
Yes, we are about to finish. Thank you.
No, I don't
Teacher,
want you to
Cristina.
finish, Cristina. I
Huh?
don't want you to finish. Just a reminder.
Yes, I know. I am checking my time too.
Can I ask you a quick question, please?
Yes, sure.
Be
I'm
quick, dear
just-
Carlos.
Thank you for the. Did you mention that in the International Phonetic Alphabet there are a certain number of sounds, but there is a difference between the American pronunciation and the British pronunciation? Can you please tell us again the number of sounds in the British
In American English, in the phonemic chart of Adrian Underhill, you can browse it online. There are 40 sounds. In the British.
40. All right.
Phonemic alphabet, in the British phonemic chart, there are 44 phonemes. There are differences. I believe they are in the diphthongs. There are 2 or 3 more diphthongs, and in the vowels. That is where the difference are, right?
All right. Thank you.
Remember that in British English, they do not have the coloring R, the coloring schwa, there is they do not pronounce it. Those are the differences. So according to the context that you are teaching, it's going to be good that you are familiar with that. Phase 4, you are going to analyze. Your students already know, right, the symbols. They know the phonemes. They understand how to pronounce them. They are using them. They are able to read. Now they are going to analyze. They can draw connections among information. And a very good exercise that I'm going to show today is with minimal pairs. They can contrast. I did this with ChatGPT. In ChatGPT, guys, it's going to be your best assistant for the phonemic transcription. You just ask the ChatGPT, give me the American phonemic transcription of words, sentences, even texts, ask emojis, and you are going to have something like this, in less than 30 seconds. Well, in less than 5 seconds, you just write the prompt and the ChatGPT will give you everything. So it has been one of my best assistants. For example, here, you are going to be working, depending on the sounds that you are working with your students, on minimal pairs. Minimal pairs are 2 words with the same sounds except 1. So for example, here, they are going to be working in the first pair with the 2 vowels, with the 2 consonants, sh and j. So for example, the first one is going to be shin and yin. Then it's going to be rash and raj. Then wish and wish. And there are so many exercises that you can find on the net, or you can do it with the ChatGPT for minimal pairs. So this is going to help you too. In the classroom that I told you that I'm going to share with you, there are so many links, guys, that you can use. Digital dictionaries, you can use apps with artificial intelligence, videos in YouTube with the phonemic transcriptions, with songs. It is amazing what you can do. The phase 5, evaluate, critically examine information. You are going to test. So here, why don't you, when you explain all those things in that process, you are going to ask your students to make audios, and then they can revise each other. And they can listen to them. So they are going to be involved and they are going to be feeling, listening, reading. It's not going to be only a pronunciation exam and they are going to be tested or evaluated. They are going to be working with the language and they are going to enjoy it a lot. This presentation, guys, I can share it with you for the exercises, and you can use some of the ideas in order to use it with your students. And finally, once they are more familiar with the sounds, with the phonemic transcriptions, they are investigating too. You can ask them to investigate the phonemic transcription of certain words or even sentences. Why don't you ask them to create? And they are going to produce new original work. And in this one, they are going to be inventing and they are going to use the resource of storytelling. So for example, if we were working with the previous words, you can see them here. I made a story, but what about if your students with all of these words, they can create a story and they can even, if they put it in the ChatGPT, you can ask the ChatGPT to give you the phonemic transcription of the words that you want. And in that way, they are going to be practicing and they are going to be exploring more with the sounds. This is like a brief show presentation of some of the activities and some of the ideas that you can do. I am going to be asking you guys in the chat to tell me what activities do you do with pronunciation? How do you address that topic? What activities do you do? We can learn from each other. Maybe you are doing also fantastic things and we can learn from you and it's going to be fantastic. And my invitation is to take action. Do not be afraid of pronunciation. Do not feel afraid of those sounds. Show them to your students. Your students need them really. Their English is going to be better. They are going to enjoy it more and they are going to feel more confident about it. To summarize, I remember, guys, that we have 6 phases according to Bloom's taxonomy, which is memorize, understand, use, analyze, evaluate, and create. Unfortunately, I am talking about me. When I used to have pronunciation activities, when I was learning English, they only told me to use the sounds, but I didn't know them, right? Or evaluate the sounds. And I felt terrified, shocked. So for me, it was a chaos. I say, no, I don't want to know about this. My invitation, guys, is for you to learn more about the Bloom's taxonomy, about the process of learning, get to know more about your students, the way that they love learning, the words that you are going to be using to teach those sounds, they need to be related to their interests. And in that way, your students are going to love that process. Remember my story when I was telling you that I was like this 25 years ago. I was a single mother, broken, studying English in the university in order to support my child and feeling scared. And I left, guys, 3 times. 2 times, well, one time, one student came to my house, one teacher came to my house and told me, Christy, please come back. That teacher passed away. And I told her no. The second time, another teacher went to my job and she said, Keta, teach Christy, you need to finish your BA. And I pay her attention. And thanks to those teachers who care about me, I returned to the university, but it took me 14 years, guys, to finish because my pronunciation was something that stopped me. This is me 4 years ago when I had my bucket list, as Jaime says. I wanted to be a public speaker. But how was I going to be a public speaker if my English was not good? I was listening, I was learning about the sounds, and I was feeling the sounds. And I discovered that I am a dreamer, and I am the queen of the dreamers because I love helping people to fulfill their dreams, that I have that magic. I started delivering conferences. Here are some of my friends. Here I have Diana. I was invited for my university to be speaking to the new teachers, and that was just great. Here I have one of my best friends, Mr. Amir, Mr. Teofilo, organizing events of pronunciation in Angola and impacting many parts of the world. In Mestizo 2 years ago, I was a plenary speaker there talking about this. I've been invited by so many great scholars. Here is my friend Ruben from Peru. Maybe you know him. He's a great teacher. And I wouldn't have been able to do all of these things, guys, without my pronunciation. And that is invitation. Can you imagine all the great things that your students have to share to the world? But maybe they are not doing that because they don't feel confident. As Jaime was saying, we have a great responsibility with our students. And we do not need to suffer, guys. This is one of my mentees, Mr. Lindo, from Angola too. And I want to invite you guys to be teaching from your heart. Do not be scared of the sounds. The sounds are essential for learning English or in learning any other language. We invite you to discover the magic of the sounds. My partner, Diana, is not here with me today. But as I told you, we are improving that methodology and we are writing a book. This book about the magical adventure of Leito, finding the sounds in the Barranca de Huentitan. So it's going to be ready soon. I want you to be ready to get it. And I hope that it helps you and your students to get those sounds. So before I go, guys, I want to ask you something. What did you like from this conference? What did you learn? And the most important, what will you do with this information? You can open your mics or you can write your comments in the chat.
Maruf, go on. Please be brief and short. Please, Maruf from Bangladesh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we are listening to you.
Okay, a couple of friends of mine, they're asking is there any group here they want to join. That's all.
Thank you. Monique from Ecuador.
Hello, everybody. I completely agree with what the speaker has said, but I have a question. How long does it take to help the students to being aware of these sounds in English? I do it in my class. I do it, but I have a hard time trying for them to memorize and finding the motivation for them to learn the sounds. So those are my two questions. How long does it take based on her method, and how long do you recommend, or what do you recommend me to motivate my students to do so?
Yes, I would say that it takes them 3 months if you are working with the method constantly. It doesn't mean that you need to stop teaching the things that you are teaching, the grammar, the vocabulary, the functions, the skills. No, just implement 10 minutes of your class working on these exercises, and your students will start being familiar with those sounds. And in 3 months, you are going to see a big difference. Of course, it is important to do some research in order that you discover, right, if it is working or not. And what I was telling about motivation, get to know your students. What do they like? What are the topics that they like? So in that case, if you choose those topics, you can use those words related to those topics. So your students are going to be working with the things that they love. Otherwise, they are going to be just demotivated, and do not teach them isolated. Storytelling is fantastic because when a person starts listening to a story, you are captivated, right? So use that strategy. Stories are beautiful.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else has a question or something to say about these 3 questions? What did you like about this presentation? What did you learn, and what will you do with this information? Well, I have, I like everything, Cristina. I love pronunciation. I just finished a course on my master that I'm studying on pronunciation, teaching pronunciation. What did you learn? Well, many things. I've been taught these charts before many times, but I'm always happy to learn and relearn and practice and repractice. And what will I do with this information? I will share it with my colleagues here in Peru. And as I promised before, I will glue the chart in my classes, in my classrooms.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, dear Cristina.
Guys, I invite you to, if you have any question, you can send me an email. I have my Facebook account. I am sharing some things there also in my YouTube channel, and I do not want to leave without sharing the link that I told you about the classroom. I am working with a partner of Google, and I am teaching professors at the University of Guadalajara how to use all the G Suite. So I have found that Classroom is one of my best tools to organize everything. So there I have all my activities, and I want to share with you. Okay. So
Okay.
Teacher Jaime, thank you so much for this invitation.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were going to show it.
Yes, let me show the classroom.
Please do.
Let me show the link. All right, give me 1 second. And let me invite you, because we have another classroom. The classroom is about the Wellness Club, because here with my friend Vero Bejarano, she's a great coach. We are teaching people how to live healthier, how to sleep better, how to eat better, how to do exercise, how to manifest the things that they want. Talking about soft skills. So as educators, it is important that we also take importance of those things, right? Because we as human beings, we are living in a very stressful environment, and our health, it's not so good. So I hope this helps too. I'm gonna share with you. Let me find the, give me 1 second.
Don't worry. Take as many seconds as you need.
It's here. Can I share my screen?
Please do it.
Okay, in this classroom, we have the sounds. Let me show you the folders or the sections that we have. Every time you enter to classroom, we have, this one is like your dashboard. We have the classwork, and here we have like the folders, right? So I organize it like this. It's going to be the materials. So for example, here, you are going to have the Adrian Underhill chart. So this would be like the objective, right? To memorize those symbols in order to be able to read them. Then we have songs with the International Phonetic Alphabet lyrics. So for example, we can have Bruno Mars, Adele. Let me see if you can listen. You are going to listen to the song, but instead of reading the lyrics, you are going to read the lyrics with the International Phonetic Alphabet. Can you listen or not? No, right?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
What about now?
Now it's okay.
Yes.
Not a single word was said. No final kiss to seal any sin. I had no idea of the state we were in. I know I have a fickle heart.
The most exposure your students have on those phonemes is going to be the best. Then I have 2 videos. One of the videos I made it is with this, the vowels. The other one is with the consonants. So I am explaining how to pronounce those sounds. Then I made other 3 categories. Vowels, according to the phonemic chart, I organize them. And there is a great page on YouTube, which is American English Sounds. And here there is a video explaining everything about each sound. So you don't need to be paying attention to all the sounds, only the sounds that you or your students are struggling with, right? Because maybe you may waste a lot of time teaching sounds that we already know. But what about the ones that I show you, like sh, j, j, those sounds that are kind of problematic for them? So you watch the video and then you're going to have practice. And here there is a file with the transcript of the video. So here in the file, there are so many words with that sound that you can practice. So students are just going to love it.
Teacher,
So,
we can see this page in where in your.
I am sending you right now the link, and you can add to my class.
Thank you so
You
much.
can also invite your students. They can add too. I think that there is not a limit of students. I don't. Right now, let me see. I have 67 students. Most of them are teachers, right? But if you want to invite your students, that is going to be great. So I am ready to go. It has been a pleasure, guys, to be here today sharing with you this information. And dear Jaime, thanks.
Okay, don't go because we still got a few minutes. Hello, Marco, just a minute. We got a few minutes to say and to express our gratitude for such a good presentation. Personally, let me tell you something, some kind of anecdote. When my students, I teach at the university, okay? I'm from Piura, and in Piura, in the north of Peru, we have a beautiful accent because we speak like singing.
Yes, I love it.
And we got lots of mariachi groups, okay? Just like in Mexico, and people identify our accent, like if we were from Mexico and we sound something like that, you know, well, something like that. So when my students ask me, teacher, what English are we learning this semester, American or British? I tell them Peruvian. Because
we say that in Mexico, we say Spanglish.
Okay, but I tell them because of the accent, right? And I tell them your teacher is from Piura and is Peruvian, so the accent will be Piurano, Peruvian. So don't worry about that. You should worry if my pronunciation is okay, intelligible, and right. And the most important, I tell my students, that is to learn to understand different accents, like this community, Cristina. Yes. We have people from Vietnam, from Morocco, from Nigeria, from South Africa, from Bolivia, Colombia, Mexico, and everybody has a beautiful, different accent.
And that is amazing, dear Jaime, because it is not to be correct or incorrect, it's to be understood and to love those differences. I think that is important, and that the communication takes place.
Yes.
Not accuracy.
Yes, that's true, my dear Cristina. Well, now we got a couple of minutes. First of all, I would like to invite, as usual, the president of our community, Raj. If you would like to say something.
Yes, I do. You know, it was really enjoyable because the participation and everybody was participating. And as Jaime just mentioned, and you as well, Cristina, it's if you can communicate your message, if you're, you know, then it doesn't matter about the accents that people have. I think accents are beautiful.
Of course.
Clarity of message is essential. And
yes.
It was fun being.
Thank you. Now let me
invite Raj for the invitation. I'm sorry.
No, sorry, excuse me. Now let me allow Marco Giron. He's a good friend of mine. He was my student, and he was always carrying a dictionary in math classes. And he was always correcting me. No, teacher, this is this way, that way. Marco, are you there?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Marco.
Hello, Marco.
So I live here in Piura.
Just 1 minute, dear Marco. Other people want to talk.
All right. Yeah, my name is Marco. I'm an English teacher here in Piura, as well as Jaime. And I just would like to share some things that you were mentioning about the phonetic sounds. I created these cards, so I gave my students a lot of cards like casinos, no?
Wow.
So they together every class, so they break them, we play together, and I say, how do you say it here? Oh, okay, give me the word, book, and good. So every time we play together, and I gave them just this sheet of papers, they paste them together here, and they cut it into pieces, and they have their own cards.
That's amazing. I remember with my teacher of pronunciation at the university, we used to make those cards too. It is fantastic. Manipulate, right? So,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here, dear Marco. Anybody else, please? Marco Antonio Aparicio from Mexico. Hello, want to say something?
Hello, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, yes, it was an interesting presentation for me from the point of view of the different techniques that Cristina has developed, I think, right? I would just like to say, well, I teach the licenciatura en la enseñanza del inglés. So I work as a teacher trainer or teacher educator, right? And I teach the phonetics and phonology class in the program. So I just would like to tell all of you that learning about the area of phonetics and phonology is very important. As Cristina said, we're not going to teach our students who are learning English only. We're not going to tell them all about this information, this knowledge that we teachers should have, but this information definitely is important for teachers, that teachers have all this knowledge in mind. I mean, linguistic knowledge, and specifically in this particular case, information about phonetics and phonology, in order to be able to be able to teach them how to pronounce the different phonemes. You're not going to tell you, as Cristina said, to give the students technical terms.
Alveolar palatar.
For example, that's right. But you can sometimes include some of these easy names for them, and also that helps you to tell them exactly how to move the different parts of your oral cavity. So that's very important knowledge for teachers. And I would like to tell you that you should try to take phonetics and phonology courses, or study more about linguistics, right?
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, dear
Thank
Marco.
you, Mr.
And
Marco.
finally, maybe Medali, who lives in Switzerland, would like to say something. Dear Medali, hello. Hi, Medali. I guess she has problems with the microphone. We can hear you, Medali. No? You got some problems. Okay. Before your final words today, dear Cristina Mauricio, let me remind everyone that next week, the 10th, that is in 2 Sundays, we will have our good friend Fernanda Binatti from Brazil talking about reading awareness in the age of information. Everyone is welcome to listen to her and learn from her. Well, dear Cristina, it's been a real pleasure and honor. Thank you for your time and expertise, and for sharing your time and your expertise with all of us. Now you got some time to say your final words today.
Remember, if knowledge is power, learning is your superpower. Use that power to empower yourself and to empower your students. They are as great as you, and they are looking at you, trying to get the best. And they want to share so many things, right? Do not let them, that the fear of speaking, the fear of not pronouncing well, the fear of not knowing how to speak, stop them from their greatness. They are all great and they have great things to share. Again, thank you for being here, for listening to me. I hope that this was helpful. Thank you, dear Jaime, for the invitation. I cannot wait to see you in October here in Mexico. And to my friends, Mr. Amir, Vero Bejarano, and all of you guys who were here, Mrs. Ranch, thank you guys. And take action, start using the sounds. Sounds are magical. And when my book is ready, I will share it with you.
Sure, dear Cristina. And I can't wait either to see you in Guadalajara, the capital of mariachis, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love mariachis. I just cry when I listen to them. So see you soon over there in October. And thank you everyone in Facebook Live. Everyone in Facebook Live, Cristina is really happy. They want you to share the link of the classroom classes.
I already shared, and also I shared the one of the Wellness Club, and I shared the video of my country, which I found you interesting.
Yeah, thanks, dear Max Perez from Chiclayo, Peru TESOL too. And of course, you will be back next year in February if you can, because as you could see, we got guest speakers till December. So January will be holidays. I don't know where, but then maybe Canada, and then February, we will be back with this beautiful meeting. So thank you, everyone. Have a very nice Sunday and see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Anthony, Raj, Marco, Medalit, Marco, Luis, Patricia, Monique, Nasir, Vero, Max Perez, Mr. San, and everyone else in Facebook Live. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Cristina.
Goodbye. Thank you, teacher Cristina. Thank you, everyone.